The Vikings were a vast race of men and women that had many distinguishing features. They were traders and they were raiders, who traveled the world in search of wisdom, resources, and battle, whom were feared throughout the Middle Ages. The Vikings traveled all across Europe and even to North America in pursuit of their motives. The longboat was essential to this and had a very intuitive design, which allowed it to move swiftly across seas and inland shallow. The Vikings traveled vast distances across Europe. By the ninth century, their settlements had stretched all the way across northern Norway and Sweden, as well as southwestern England and western Russia. By the 10th century, the Vikings were well and truly into Russia, with most of western Russia scattered with Viking settlements. By the 11th century, the Vikings had ventured into Italy, Sicily, western Turkey, and western England. The Vikings had various hotspots where raiding was common, including the west coast of England and the north coast of France, Germany, and Poland. One of the key motives for the Vikings to travel, raid and trade was the situation back home in the Scandinavian countries. These countries were cold with little fertile soil for crops. They were restricted to the few things they could hunt that thrived in the environment, some domestic animals, and fish that they could catch off the Scandinavian coast. Sometimes the northern Vikings would also be able to grow barley and wheat, but this was restricted to the very few areas where there was fertile soil that had not frozen over. Another reason to travel was that only the eldest son of any family would be entitled to the land and the inheritance. Therefore, any other children wanting land after their father had died would have to look elsewhere. The Vikings believed in the Norse gods, including Odin, god of wisdom and war, Thor, god of thunder, and Freya, god of fertility and plenty. The Vikings believed that if they died in battle, they would go to Valhalla, where they would be able to fight with the gods at the final battle of Ragnarok. This was also probably a factor that fueled the Viking thirst for adventure and war. Over the course of several hundred years, going into the 11th century, some Viking chieftains began converting their subjects to Christianity. Missionaries also came to Scandinavian countries to forcefully convert people to Christianity, and in most cases proceeded to murder them, as it was thought they would go to heaven. This, as you might expect, inspired outrage among the majority of the Viking community, and fueled even more violence and raiding of Christian countries such as England.
Created using Powtoon.